boys and girls, I am going to teach you the parts of the instrument today. It is super important to know each part by their proper name. We're going to first start with the scroll. The scroll is this little swirly piece of wood up here, and it's honestly just for decoration. These are called the pegs. They're called the tuning pegs. Pegs are used to tune your strings. You can tighten or loosen the strings using these pegs, but it's so important that you never touch these pegs, okay? I'm going to be the only one touching them, or maybe your parent will be the only one, because if you tighten too much, your strings could pop and it could hit you in the face. So I don't want you students to be using these pegs at all. We're going to travel on down the instrument. Now we get to the strings. You have 4 strings on your instrument, and we're going to learn the names of the strings later. This black piece of ebony under the strings is called the fingerboard. And this is where your fingers are going to be pressing down on to make different notes. This is called the shoulder of the instrument. And the shoulder of the instrument kind of reminds me of a shoulder of a person. We're going to hold the instrument by the shoulder sometimes. This is called the F holes, and this is where the sound travels out from the instrument. When you play, this is like the speakers of your instrument. This piece of wood right here is called the bridge, and the bridge holds up the strings off of the fingerboard. Okay, the bridge is not glued on, it's just held up by tension, and it's just basically to keep the strings kind of floating in the air so they can resonate. These are called your fine tuners. Fine tuners will be used to tune the instrument if the instrument's just a little bit out of tune, and these are pretty safe to use. So I will be teaching you kiddos how to use these fine tuners. This is called the chin rest, and this is only on the violin and viola. This is where it's actually not really your chin, it's the side of your jaw. This is where the instrument meets your body, and it kind of rests on the side of your jaw. Now let's move on to the bow. This is the tip of the bow. I think it's like the most delicate part of the bow. You never, never, never want to hit or tap anything with this tip of the bow. You have the stick of the bow, and this is just a piece of wood that holds the hair onto the bow. This is called the hair, and the hair is made out of horsehair, and we use horsehair on a bow because horse's hair is super coarse. And this is called the frog of the bow. You're going to see that this is going to be where all of the tightening and loosening comes from the bow. And this little piece right here is called the screw, or you'll also hear it be called the tightening screw. And just like when we tie our shoelaces, this tightening screw is used to tighten up the hair or loosen the hair. But I will show you all of that later. The parts of a violin, viola, and cello are all exactly the same except for 2 parts. The cello does not have a chin rest, but it does have an end pin. And the end pin is a metal rod that is at the bottom of your cello, and this is used to make contact with the floor and help support the weight of the cello. It also raises and lowers the height of the cello. All right, that concludes our instrument part lesson. I want you guys to study and remember all of the parts of your instrument. And on the Zoom calls, we are going to be testing you guys. All right, good luck. Have fun.